of what this could actually mean. Joining us live on the broadcast is Mr. Harsh Vardhan Shringla, a career diplomat now nominated to the Rajya Sabha. Thank you very much for taking our time to speak to us. What do you make of this development? Just hours after saying that the United States has lost India and Russia to the darkest, deepest China, Trump seems to be clarifying, and he has done a complete U-turn. He says that US will always be friends with India. He spoke about Prime Minister Modi, his personal equation, called him a great Prime Minister, and even said that India and the US have a special relationship. So what happened in just a few hours? What do you think?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. You know, the fundamentals of our relationship are such that it is, not possible to allow this to deteriorate beyond a point without having an adverse effect on both countries. And I think, there was the realization that it's an important relationship. It's one that needs to be, taken forward, and any downward slide needs to be arrested. That's how I will see and interpret, President Trump's message. Keep in mind that he's always, had a lot of goodwill and respect for Prime Minister Modi. I mean, even at a time when there were a lot of downturns, his tweets were always preceded by, a very positive reference to the PM, my good friend Modi, yes, and so on and so forth. So I think that connect, which really comes from the heydays of Howdy Modi and Namaste Trump, that connect is rock solid and has continued through difficult moments in our relationship. And today, I think this is also a window of opportunity. President Trump's very positive tweet, not just on the relationship with the Prime Minister, but also on his recognition that this is a very special relationship, I think, and Prime Minister Modi's response, affirming, the sentiments that President Trump has articulated, yes, is, I think, an important development and a turning point that could provide us an opening to, resolve any outstanding issues that are there, especially in terms of trying to bring that elusive trade deal to a conclusion.
Okay, but that Indo-US ties are very important was well known, but which side do you think really had that realization? And do you think that the camaraderie that we witnessed of the Troika in Tianjin had any role to play in this latest overture?
Well, it's difficult to say. You see, from our point of view, I think, the decision to attend the ACO meeting was taken long before any of this happened. And there was a normal, I would say, effort to attend that meeting and also move towards a more normalization of the relationship, as we have seen during the visit, a movement on areas like, flights between the two countries, tourism, to open up visas to be more liberal. That sort of thing, I think, is an economic, relations to move forward in some ways. I think that was always intended. Whether it has been interpreted in any way from the US side, I cannot say, and I think it would, it would be a very subjective interpretation either way. But the important thing is that, there is a realization in Washington that the relationship is an important one, that, there has been a slide that has not been in the interest of both sides, and that I think there is an effort now to, arrest that downward trajectory. And in my view, an important opportunity, as I said, to try and, get things back on track with a very, very important and critical partner.
Yes. But, there have been several provocative statements that have been made as well from the United States. But New Delhi's response had always remained very dignified throughout it all. So what do you make of the Prime Minister's response now? And, what does this indicate?
Well, I mean, as I said, there's always been a very, very, strong connect between, Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. And that connect has not been broken, irrespective of the, ups and downs of the relationship that we have witnessed in recent months. And so there is, I would say, the same relationship gives us that opening. And I think that's very important, that when it's being reiterated in this manner, it is certainly something that we should be able to look and interpret as a positive sign. And from both sides, President Trump has tweeted, Prime Minister Modi has responded, and I think there is a common endeavor to bring things back on track, to say like enough is enough, and let's move on what is a logical course of action between two vibrant democracies, two countries that share perhaps the most comprehensive and multifaceted relationship that India has with any other country, our largest trading partner, a country with whom we have a significant trade surplus, an investment partner, technology partner, human talent partner, and a strong people-to-people connect. And I think this is something that we don't have with any other partnership anywhere in the world, what we call a global comprehensive strategic partnership. There is no other parallel anywhere in the world, and we need to definitely recognize that any drift in the downward trajectory that we are seeing, any further drift would have consequences for both countries. It is not something that either country would want to see, either on the geopolitical plane, the Indo-Pacific arena, or in terms of just bilateral relations between our two countries. And certainly, I think from our side, and to respond to your question, we have, I think, been very mature, very pragmatic in our handling of this issue. I think there have been very steady and consistent efforts to try and keep things on an even keel, not get carried away or distracted by the many voices that are coming out from different quarters. We have kept that let's say a very tight control on how we respond to the situation. And I think all along our desire has been to maintain a good relationship, and I'm glad that we now have the opportunity to take things back to where it should be.
Okay. And the icebreaker did come from Trump. But the question is, can India really trust Trump and what he says? Because his statements seem to change very often. Suddenly he says something, in a few hours there could be a complete change. Then we also had America's Commerce Secretary who also recently said that India will have to say sorry.
I think, all of the members of President Trump's administration and cabinet will follow his tune and his line. And I have no doubt that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick will also, be on a more positive trajectory as we go along. You've already seen Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's tweet. I think that was on positive lines. And we will see more of that is my sense, because when President Trump has a certain approach, I think it is normal that his administration also, echoes that sentiment. And his sentiment is very clear, and as you've highlighted it right at the beginning, he is very clear about his friendship with Prime Minister Modi. He feels he's a great Prime Minister, but also the fact that the India-US relationship is a special relationship. And what are we saying there? That we cannot be sidetracked on this relationship. We cannot allow this relationship to be distracted or allow it to continue in a manner that would be detrimental to the interests of both countries.
Mr. Shringla, before I let you go, I also want to ask you, there is a lot of chatter now around this tweet, Prime Minister Modi responding to Donald Trump as well, but there has been a lot of damage that has been done in the recent times. So can that damage really be undone? And what happens behind closed doors, beyond this conversation that has now started off? Are we going to be seeing a change in the Indo-US ties, a reset?
Well, tweets can cause damage and tweets can undo damages. So, it's a question of how you see it. It's in response to tweets that you felt that there's been some damage, and so you should also look at tweets that are positive in trying to interpret things in a more positive manner. I'm optimistic on the relationship. I have personally dealt with this relationship, and I believe that the fundamentals of the relationship are very strong, and that any effort or any, even an unintended consequence of allowing it to drift in a manner that is which goes against the spirit of that relationship, I think will be, as I said, will be harmful to the interests of both countries. And so we have to see it for what it is worth. Yes, everything that you see is a result of efforts, and I'm sure there are efforts, and both sides have not been idle. There have been a lot of, I have no doubt that, contacts between the administration and our government, and would have been a fair amount of effort to try and, bring things back on track. So I'm sure this is certainly a result of many such efforts, but primarily I would say it is that strong. I'll again reiterate that point, that friendship, connect, and the chemistry that exists between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump is the fundamental factor that both guides the relationship and is able to bring the relationship to a level that is in the best interest of both countries.
Okay, all right. Mr. Shringla, thank you so much for speaking to us and breaking it down for us on what it means for the Indo-US ties.